All right, guys, welcome to another episode of In Those We Trust podcast. My name is Malik Howard. I currently have my boy here, Liam.
What's up, Liam?
It's been a while. It's been a long time coming. He's seen everyone else on the podcast. Like, it's my time to shine. But I've known Liam, bro. It's weird. Every time someone comes on this podcast, I'm like, yo, bro, I've known this person for so long.
I know.
But I think that's where I want to keep it. I want to keep it into the frame of, like, anyone who comes on, like, we have time and we've put time in, like, outside of just meeting and talking on the podcast, we've actually talked somewhere else in life. We spent like 2 hours talking just because. But we met. I'm trying to think.
I was trying to think of that when I was watching the episode with you and Tone. I was like, how long have I known Malik for?
Damn.
I think
baseball, but like it definitely was baseball. I think I knew you before I even went to school here.
Yeah, for sure.
Something like that. Yeah. We were on the same baseball team, and I was like, yo, what can we talk about? Because we talk about so much shit. Like, we went to the same high school together, and we went to the same college together.
Yeah.
So that's even in itself is dope as hell to have. But I was like, yo, what can I attack? Like, let's discuss, because we talk about so many different things when we're just with each other in our college dorms. We talk about so much stuff. But really, we were even before we began recording, we were talking about Palmyra and like how interesting it is. And I always talk about like how interesting it is with the amount of different like diversity that goes there.
Yeah.
And not just like race, but like social economic backgrounds, religion, things like that. And like you brought up that like you talk about that like in your interviews and anything you go into.
Every time.
Is that
every time. Yeah. So like interviewing for like throughout college, different part-time jobs, post-college, full-time positions.
Yeah.
The first question, well, tell me a little bit about yourself.
Yeah.
I always bring up Palmyra. I was born and raised in Palmyra, went to Palmyra High School.
That's crazy.
Talk about the graduating class. We had, like 70-something people, which always gets a...
I always talk about that with people, too, and they're like, whoa, I had like 400.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
I thought mine was small. I had 250, and I was like, yeah, I mean, not even close.
Small. Yeah.
But no, man, I mean, like you said, we talked about it a little bit before.
Yeah.
Reason I bring that up is because... like we were raised, I think, fortunate enough to just be able to talk to different people, economic statuses, different
100%.
Races, like just different mindsets about life.
Mm-hmm.
So that definitely, I think, has helped me in everyday life, just being more personable. Like I can tell with you as well.
Yeah,
I don't think there's ever going to be a person that we meet that we're kind of blown away by, that we don't know what to say.
Yeah, or talk to.
So yeah, man, I always bring that up, and I'm like, I'm pretty sure I can talk to anybody.
That's true. Like when you think of Palmyra, it's like that. But like when I think about like my development and like how I went through like different development stages, I think like Palmyra was the first school where I was at longer than 2 years. Like I went to like different schools like every 2 years. Like so when I went to Palmyra in 7th grade, I was like, yo, Dad, I can't move no more. Like I'm tired of moving. He's like, bro, you'll stay here. Like you graduate from here. Like don't worry. Like you're not moving anymore. And I was like, all right, thank you. I appreciate that. Like I can't do it anymore. Cause like I went and. So all those social classes that are in Palmyra High School, I did all those at individual times. Like, I went to, like, Pennsauken, which has, its affluent parts, and then it has, like, those very rough and rugged parts of it. Mm-hmm. And then I went to Cherry Hill, which is like, all right, you're getting into that middle class, the upper middle class. And then I went to Morristown. So then I was dealing with, like, I saw a whole new world where, like, I had, girls at the time who, like, my mom was pulling up in a minivan to pick me up from school, but then her dad's picking her up in a Ferrari.
Yeah.
Like, this is legit what I lived in, like, in those settings. And when I was on one of the other podcasts on Onwards, I talked about it, and I was like, I don't think I would be at the point where I am if it wasn't for going to different schools. And if I'd stayed in Morristown, I wouldn't be where I am. Because at Morristown, and, I talk about this with my little brother, I feel like in Morristown, they held us to a certain standard. Like, you can't. Like, you're not smart enough to do in these classes. And I was, I was in special ed. Like, I would come out of the classroom and go into another classroom. But then when I go to Palmyra, it was hard for me to make the transition. But once I hit high school, like, there was nothing wrong with what I could do and doing well in school. But it definitely was, like, I was lucky enough to get that. And then go to Palmyra, like, I feel at home. And that's a perspective a lot of people don't have in their high school. Like, I felt at home.
Yeah, for
like
sure, man.
Peace for the first time.
I always say, like, I would not trade the Palmyra High School experience for anything.
I mean, people always shit on it. Like, it's so weird. Like, I could shit on my grad school. Like, I hated my grad school so much. Yeah. But I wasn't there, so I didn't have, like, that college experience. But then when I was in, like, at Roan or Palmyra, I never look back and, like, this was the worst school of my life. Like, Kat, she came to Palmyra her senior year. So she had that experience, like, going to school in Long Island. Like, that was a big ass fucking school. So she's like, yo, Palmyra is awful, bro. And I'm like, yo,
yeah.
if you grew up in Palmyra, this is everything. Like, I remember watching football games, watching my brother play, and being like, I want to play high school for Palmyra, just for sports.
Yeah.
Like, so like that's the difference within it too.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure it was crazy for her because what she knows was the exact opposite. So she's like, "What the hell is this?"
Hell yeah! And think about it, in Long Island, like she was going to those big ass schools where like you don't know everyone in the graduating class. We knew everyone.
You knew everybody in the school basically, and if you didn't, they knew you.
And from 7th grade all the way to senior year, you knew every single person. But as we were going on, you know, it was always like that perspective that I talk with my friends, you know, like I was lucky enough to be in 2 different circles. Like I was lucky enough, like it's so crazy, like being African American and Italian, like I already have those 2 interchangeable things. And I have like my Italian side they're very like affluent. Like they have a lot of money. They, you know, they have like, my grandparents have a house in Florida and they have a house in Cinnamon. And then they're like, you know what, we're moving down to Florida like whole time. So like they like sold their house and like, you know where the carnival is at?
Yeah.
That's their church. So like they live like they live down the street from there. So I used to always park there. But like I grew up with that perspective. Then I have like my African American side, my dad and all them. And it's like I'm getting 2 perspectives. And when I think about that, then interchanging that into going to Palmyra High School, it's like I played the same thing in sports. You know, I played baseball and I played football. Yeah. And it was like I was probably the only black kid on the baseball team besides Eric Robinson. Yeah. And then I was, you know, I was mixed in with all the kids on the football team. We had like a couple white kids. Yeah. So it was different. But you know, that perspective, like, yo, Liam was a one white boy who we were like I could probably think of like just 2, you and Fozzie, who I was like, those are the white boys, but could hang out with anyone. Like they can be in our circles and they understand at least a little bit of what we go through and they care to understand us. Definitely. But I want to speak on like, what did you feel, you know, being that one, like, did you ever feel like, yo, I'm the white boy, I'm just part of this circle, like, you know what I mean?
A little bit. Yeah. You know what I mean? I think part of it was like just getting like knowing you, like Tone, Javon, like we were all really close, like especially senior year, like Tone and I would do like the news show. Yeah. Like Javon and I like hanging out. And then you and I going to Rowan. Yeah. Yeah, I guess sometimes I'm like, you know, we'll look around and be like, okay, I'm the white kid here, like in the group. Like people are probably like, what the hell is that? But no, man, I mean, I just enjoyed like growing up with you guys, like just developing a connection that you know is obviously lasting throughout school and hopefully, you know, down the line forever. But I mean, kind of like we just said, like going to Palmyra forced you in a way, at least, you know, not forced, but allowed you to go to different circles. You know, I have some of my best friends from any economic status you can think of. Again, different races, like just different backgrounds, different educational backgrounds, what they're doing now. So it's cool. I think I'm fortunate, man. I love seeing everybody's different perspective. That's why I want to come on here too, is kind of like talk about this and like get your feelings on that. Yeah. You know, what you guys kind of thought about it, but
there were certain things that, like, you know, it was, I remember we had a fight on the football team. Like we had like in practice, I got into a fight with someone, like another white kid. And at the time, like, you know, my senior year was like a lot of turmoil going on. Like, you know what I mean? Like my dad lost his house. There was a lot of issues that we were going through at the time. And it was rough. And one of the kids was going through like an issue like on the team. And his issue was in no comparison. And it's bad to do that because it could have been. His comparison to what he was going through really meant so much to him that he was going through it and he was treating other players bad, right? And I was like, yo, bro, are you fucking kidding me? Like, you're really treating someone bad right now because you're going through something. To me, that was like this. But to him, it could have been everything, right? But then when I look at the grand scheme of things, I'm like, bro, I don't have nowhere to live right now. And you're coming to practice and you're bitching right now about something this small. So it was like, you know, I look back and I was like, I was in the wrong still because you don't compare your different challenges that you go through because that's still someone's challenge. But when I was looking at it, I was like, yo, I wonder if like in those times, in those moments, like were there like, do I ever think that there was like a racial issue at Palmyra? I don't think so.
Like, I would agree with that.
I don't think there was. But do I see that there was times where there were circles of like, okay, you're not in this circle, you're not in that circle? 100%. But that's what any school you go to. And I felt like that was in our circle as well. It was like, are you down, but you're not down. You understand what I'm saying? But I don't know. I definitely don't see it as like it was an issue of like, you know, we had racial tension. There were definitely some times where things would come up and we'd be like, all right, this is a time where it's black versus white. And that was on the football field sometimes. But I didn't feel like that walking down the hallways, I would say, for sure.
I mean, again, me personally, I don't think I've ever experienced it personally or have seen it, you know, just walking through the halls or like classrooms or anything like that. Maybe like a town thing. Like I think when you and Tone talked about like Beverly, like they were definitely not.
Yeah.
No, don't get me wrong, not like a clique.
Yeah.
But like they would
sure.
have each other's backs. You know what I mean?
Sure. Yeah.
But it never got to the point where it was like Beverly versus Palmyra versus
Yeah.
Riverton versus anybody else who's coming in. I don't think it was like that.
No.
Which is dope. Like,
yeah. That's how I feel like that's how it should always be. And then what I want, this may be like a touchy thing to go on, but let's see where it goes. But like when I was thinking like how like you're not in those rooms, you're like I'll be blatantly honest. Like when we look at like when you're with your white friends, do you see certain things? Or have you heard certain things? Like that could be high school or college, where you're like, this is not right. You know what I mean? Like there's these people saying certain things, and I know when we had conversations in college, like we would meet with people, and I would call them out if I I was the person I was like, you're fucking wrong, bro. Like, what's good with you? I wanted to know, like, did you ever experience anything where you were like, this is wrong, you guys don't get that perspective, you don't understand fully?
Yeah, I think in college more so. Like I said, like Palmyra, me personally, I never experienced that, but I think when we got to Rowan, there were definitely some certain things to where it was definitely more cliquey. You had like your branch of people. Yeah. Just a lot of like political stuff too, bro. Like
we were in college at the height of like shit going down.
Yeah,
like, it was everything. Our sophomore year when Trump got elected.
Exactly.
So like shit was going down, bro, on campus.
And I just think like, honestly, I would just see or like hear people, both sides, that just didn't really make any sense. I think a lot of people want to have an opinion without having the right amount of information they need facts, to have an opinion. Yeah. So I never fully share my opinion on something if I don't hear both sides of it. That's why, like talking to you, I love hearing your side of it. Or like when we went out, you, Kat, Sabrina, and myself, remember we went out? Yeah. Like hearing your guys' perspective on like everything that was going on, and like Kat's family and like her background, and you and yours. Like I'm so interested to learn about all that. But if there were ever a time that like something were to be okay, maybe you're crossing a line and saying something, I would. And again, because I grew up with like some of my best friends are on the opposite group. I'm like, you don't know what the hell you're talking about, man. Like, I think it was so interesting. Like when Trump did get elected, it was people from Palmyra that I was like, when I would see shit on Facebook, and I'm like, you're gone. Like, you're gone. Like, you're gone. I could drop fucking names right now, but I'm not going to do it because now that Trump's not in office, you don't want to be publicly out there like that. But there's this, you know who you are. That I was like, you're gone, bro. Like, you have this mentality, and I can't understand how you have this mentality when we were raised in the same schooling system. Now it comes down to household. Like, that's where, like, you chose to take those understandings. And that's what I always say. My dad has his own beliefs, and I have my own beliefs. So when I hear that, this is the way I was raised like that, I call bullshit because you're just a sheep then. Because I don't listen to and follow and believe in everything my dad says. I take what he says and take my own beliefs into it. So I call bullshit on that. And we were in college, and, you have certain friends, like, when I would hang out with your boys, and they were like, I'm not gonna name any names, but they were just like, I voted for Trump, and I was like, what the fuck? And they're like, well, for one thing, and I was like, no, you voted for everything. You can't just say, Trump, I am voting for this little piece of something. You can't do that. So when I did hear that, and I was just like, get the fuck out of here, bro. And like I loved it. Like I loved that what Trump did, because I was just like, he put it into the forefront. Because people before that, if you remember, a lot of people would say, racism doesn't exist. Right before that, people were saying racism doesn't exist, and then that came out, and I was like, dude, this shit is hidden and prevalent as you wouldn't believe. Well, that's what I think it just turned into, bro. Like, it turned into, like, the people that voted for Trump. It wasn't I voted for Trump. It seemed like a lot of them, like you said, especially on social media, where people just love to put shit out because they're sitting behind a screen and there's no, repercussion at the time. It turned into, like, an us against the world mentality. Where, again, like, it turned into maybe you voted him for one particular reason, but now it's just like you want to argue. People just want to argue with something, and they want to be on the right side of it. Man. There was. I think the so really what I was trying to point, like, you can say, okay, for any politician, you say, like, I voted for this stance they have. This stance they have. You're gonna agree and disagree with everybody.
I can sit here and be like the Democrats that we got elected. Like, there's certain things I don't agree with. Like, there's certain stuff that Kamala Harris and Joe Biden did in the 90s.
It'll never be 100%.
But what I can sit here and say is, like, if you voted for that man, you voted against me. So when I look at that, when people are like, I voted for this little thing, I'm like, no, you voted against me. Like, you voted against our people. You voted against minorities in general, because he doesn't stand for minority. He wasn't standing for that.
Right.
So when I look at you, and I'm like, you didn't think about me when you went into that election booth. Like, that's where I look at it as. And it's deeper than just like, it's just voting. But no, there's a divide that was created. There's a stance that you took against me and saying that, like, you know, I didn't care about how you felt, Malik, or what you think in life. I cared about myself, and that's where I think it develops like tribalism, and that's what it did. It developed this like me versus you, and that's a mentality that, like, you know, we could all sit here and be like whatever, like humanity. I want everyone to come together, and that's just not how it is. But like, you voted to not have that at all, and like that's why I'm like, I can't fuck with you if that's the case.
No, I completely understand. And like, you've mentioned that before too, right? Like I've heard you say that numerous times.
Yeah.
And, that's why I always like wanted to try to support, you know, when everything was going on, like going to the you know, to the exactly, in Palmyra, like when that all was set up, like I was like, this is dope.
Yeah.
Like I've never experienced, I mean, I'm white, man. Yeah. Like I've never experienced what the hell goes through, but like hearing your mindset, hearing other African Americans' mindset, and again, like people that I care about, it makes me want to change something. But I think, like you said, a lot of people, most people think about, okay, what's good for me in this moment. Yeah. Forget about the rest.
That's why I was really upset when like I took the time to like decompress after like the BLM movement, and like the like, what was it, like a town hall type of thing? They had like a thing in Palmyra, and I looked into the crowd, like the majority, there was a lot of white adults over there. It was a lot of white families, right? Yeah. And I was like, oh, this is so dope. It's so dope when I see like those white families there and they have their kids there. That's what matters,
they're showing
right?
them,
they're showing them this, right? But then when I looked at it and I was like, okay, who from our fucking class is here? Who from our age group to the fucking 20 to 28? Who's here that we grew up with that is white? Who's here? And like the only person that was there was Liam. And I was like, that's the problem. You know, Dana, of course, and her whole family. Of course, yeah. But like no one else. No one else that we were cool with. No one else that was clicked up with us that, you know, I hung out with and stuff like that. But you could say, you know, I was at work or stuff like that. Yeah. And that's fine with me, right? But you didn't still make a stance. I didn't see nothing public. I didn't see you say, like, you know, and I'm still in support of this, you know, making a public statement. So that's why I was like, yo, I call out every one of the kids that I grew up with and that we played sports with and we were in high school with and that we chilled with. If you weren't there, you didn't make any stance, like, shame on you, bro. Like, you didn't support. Yeah. And I still have that in the back of my head. So you know who you are. Definitely. Like, I remember, like, that's something that would never leave. Because even my dad, like, you know, we sat down, we were talking. I was like, yo, Liam was there. That was so dope. And one of the questions I did have, I was like, yo, and me and my dad were talking, like, I was like, yo, Liam's dad's a firefighter. And he was there. Not that it's saying that a lot of those guys are against it. Yeah. But, like, a lot of those guys have their own beliefs in certain things, and they don't vibe with that BLM movement things and something like that. And I was like, yo, Liam was there. I was like, and I wanted to see, like, what is your, like, take on, like, the differences and things like that within that?
So personally, like, my dad was there as part of, like, the fire department, I think. Like, they were kind of, like, blocked off a street or something like that. But, like, I know he enjoyed it. Yeah. Like, it was something, because, again, like, it turns into, like, this is what my community's doing. You know what I mean? Exactly. I think, you know, with the older generation, you get a lot of like, well, what the hell is this? Like, I don't think people really see it for what it is, and they don't want to see it, and they're stuck in their ways, and you know, that's fine, do you? But I think that was really cool too, because I grew up in a household that, again, like, all white family, but it never, like, my parents never said, like, no, you can't hang out with him. Like, for sure. Maybe you shouldn't be seen with him, or like, no, like, he can't come over, but he can. Yeah. And you know why? Yeah. Like, it was never like that. Maybe some other kids are. I don't know. Yeah. But yeah, man. I mean, I think it was definitely, because you've expressed that too. Right after that, right after everything happened, like, you text me right away, and you're like, yeah, bro, like, nobody else really came.
Yeah, I texted you. I was like, yo, I appreciate you coming through, bro. Like, that meant a lot.
And like, I was there with Dave Van Arsdale too, because like, he wanted to support Eric Robinson's sister, who like was such a big part of you know, putting it all together. So
sure.
Yeah, I mean,
shout out to Dave.
Little, yeah.
Shout out to my guy.
But he, I mean, it was just a little disappointing, I think, for myself too, because like you said, you can have something going on, like, even before that, leading up, like, just share it. Yeah. Share it. Like, social media is so big, man. Like, you're on it every day. Yeah. Share something, you know, get the word out there.
I stopped in Willenboro. I was driving through Willenboro, and a guy was like on the side. He was actually at the Palmyra, like, BLM thing. Oh yeah, he just happened to be there. But like, he stopped. I was driving through Willenboro, and he was just on the side of the road by himself, him and his girl, and they were holding up signs. I was like, yo, bro, I'm gonna document this. I'm gonna post it. Which and I put it out there, and he was like showing me mad love, and he even showed up to the Palmyra thing, and it was just like, yo, this is what it's about. Like, it was the first time I felt like, all right, our community's coming together. Like, you know, it's like turning our back to hate. Like, we don't want that shit around us. And I felt like that, bro, our generation, if it was something else, if it was a fucking bar crawl, they would have been out there. but then you take a BLM movement and they're like, they won't make the time for it. And I was just like, yo, that shit hurt. If you feel some type of way, fuck you. But at the end of the day, it's like, I seen that, and I seen that where does your, what is important to you? I saw parents out there, and honestly, you probably were working from home because it was in the fucking midst of COVID, heavy COVID. So, and it was summer, so miss me with that bullshit.
Yeah.
But I remember in college we talked about too, like the BLM versus Blue Lives Matter.
Yeah.
And we were like, yo, what is this? Because I'll be honest with you. When I see the Blue Lives Matter flag, to me that's just another thing for a Confederate flag. You know what I mean? Like,
in my eyes, I've heard that before from other people as well.
In my eyes, but like, you know, you have a dad that's in the fire department, and like, I want to see, like, you know, what is your stance on that in comparison? Because, you know, I have all the knowledge, but I want to see like where it lies for you.
Yeah. So so my dad, volunteer firefighter, family full of them.
Where did you guys?
Yeah, like my grandpa was a firefighter.
Up,
my uncle,
get
like,
back.
I know. My dad's trying to get me in there, bro. I gotta get the time.
Do it, bro.
But no, like my dad's best friend was a sergeant in Morristown for like forever. Mm-hmm. So like I that was my family. That's what, you know, kind of I knew.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I, like you just said, like that's what you look at when you see the Blue Lives Matter flag.
Yeah.
And you're not the first person I hear say that.
Yeah.
Again, obviously for me, like I don't understand, or I don't see that.
Yeah. That's
but
fine. Yeah.
I'm open to hearing why.
Okay.
And at very first, when the Blue Lives Matter thing and Black Lives Matter thing happened, I personally was like, okay, well, I don't really understand why, you know, they're looking at it as what it is. Mm-hmm. Then I opened myself up, did more research, talked to more people. Now I do. Yeah. Because it's not a, like, okay, yeah, we get it. Like, yeah, cops deserve to live. Like, their lives, everybody's lives matter. Yeah. But it's kind of saying, like why? What was the point of putting that out? It's only to, okay. It's only to say, okay, we hear you, but now hear us. Yeah. Like, because people want to fight. They want to argue. They want to be on the right side of things.
That's what you say.
So, yeah, like, I see what you're saying, like, when you see that flag, and I think now it's to the point where I'm just like, man, it's just like, are you supporting one movement, or are you going out of your way to not support another? And I think that might be what it is more.
Yeah.
When you
I mean, I'm sure there's no, not everyone's like that. You know what I mean? I'm sure of it. But when you see it.
Yeah, exactly. I think there are some people that are probably like, you know, my husband's a cop. Yeah, I want him to come home every night. Yeah. Probably doesn't even know what the hell that means to other people. You know what I mean? Like, I'm sure there are. Yeah. Unfortunately, I think there are people that know exactly what they're doing and want to have another stance when they put that out. Yeah. But yeah, man, I mean, like I said, when these videos come out and like seeing how, you know, certain cops handle certain situations and everything in the world today, it's kind of like you're going over a line.
Exactly.
Man. Like, you are abusing your power. And unfortunately, there's going to be great, good, bad, ugly in any profession.
Exactly.
I'm not saying that's an excuse. Yeah. But like, unfortunately, that's what it is. Bless.
Thank you. Sorry.
I think there are a lot of, like, I've seen people that are cops. Like, Jack wants to go into some sort of criminal justice field. That's so dope. So like, I know, like, he'll take care of business and like do what he needs to do. You know, for everybody, you know, like, he's not going to go into it with malicious intent at all, ever. Yeah. So I think we just need, I think we need more of them. Yeah. And, you know, unfortunately, we have a lot of those, a lot of those people that maybe become cops so they can do this.
Have that power.
But I've heard a lot of stories, man, from you and from every other, you know, African American and minority that I know.
For sure.
About like different situations that they've been put in, for right or wrong, but most of the time it's wrong, and that sucks. Like I said, I've never had to experience that, thankfully. But yeah, I mean, I definitely understand what.
I mean, I get. I mean, the thing is that we know it's a protest to our protest, and
that's exactly.
That's where it started from.
I think that's what it was.
It started from that, and like you hit on all the points, and you know, it's so hard for us when we do see that, and we're like, maybe you don't understand where it started from. You're just saying, like, you know, like, it's like saying, like, you know, you see in the back of someone's car, like, my dad is a state trooper, my dad's police officer. Like, I get that, like, you know, you should, like, he's putting his life on the line. Like, I 100% agree with you, and we support those who do those and work in those professions, like your dad, a police officer, and firefighters, things like that. While we turn our back to those, like, those are the first people we call when we need help.
Exactly.
But then what scares you is when you go into a situation, you're like, I'm scared to call the people who should be helping me. Yeah. And this is scenarios of, like, there was a scenario where, like, I forget, but I think it was somewhere down south, like a black couple, like they were renting out space in like this guy's restaurant to house their stuff, but they had a food truck, so they were just how their ingredients and stuff there, and they would pay him, and they called him in, they called the wife in, and the husband couldn't go, and the wife was like, it was like, all right, let me step out, like something's like it feels wrong, so like she stepped out, she's like, yo, can you get here, like something doesn't feel right. So when they came, he was like spewing like all this, like, you know, you guys need to take down this Black Lives Matter stuff in your truck, like, you know, this, like, spewing just all this hate, right?
Yeah.
And in that moment, he put out a gun on them, and luckily the black guy like jumped up and like grabbed him, right, and held him down. But the first thing the woman did, right, she was like, I have to call the cops, but she was like, fuck, like, it's a black guy holding a gun on a white guy. What do I do in a situation, right? So she calls him. She's like, if you guys show up, my husband is the one that's good. He's stopping. Like, she like stopped them. Like, you see on the video, she's like, do not come in here. I'm telling you right now, like, this is what it is. And it's like that fear that we have to have.
Yeah.
And dealing with police officers. And like, there was once I got pulled on Pennsauken, and like, this is at the height of when, you know, all the videos are coming out and stuff like that. And my keys, my wallet dropped. I was like, fuck that shit, bro. I'm not picking it up. And the cop, like, I was like, sir, I dropped my wallet. Can I please pick it up? And, you know, it was the first time I seen a cop look at me, and he was just like, fuck, man. Like, fuck, this shit is real.
Did he?
Like, yeah, he looked at me, he was just like, yeah, man, go ahead and pick it up, you're fine. But he paused for like a second, like, it was like it froze time, and he was just like, damn, man, like, this little kid, like, he looked at me, he's like, this kid is scared, and like, he shouldn't have to be like this. And he was like, go ahead, man, pick it up. And I picked up, I gave him the stuff, but it was like, I already had that fear, and he knew why I was scared. And it was like, you see that divide that's already there. And he was like, and I want people to go, go in law enforcement. My little brother wants to go in law enforcement. I'm like, go, bro, make a difference. Don't become one of the sheep. Again, you'll have it's its own culture in that, you know, it's a brotherhood, but like, you have to stand out. You have to fight for something. You can't be one of the people that just sit on the side and just let shit happen.
You're just running your course.
Exactly. All right, guys, you guys been asking for it, and we finally have it. We have it ready to go for y'all. So if you look at the link below, and thosewetrust.bigcartel.com, and visit that link, you will see our products we have. We have some accessories right now for you guys to go and support. We have stickers that can be used on anything, laptops, phone cases, and they don't leave that nasty residue. Great quality. And we also have our pins. As you see, I'm wearing one right now. And our pins are on the website as well. The pins, you know, great for jean jackets, book bags, hats as well. It's better than spending, you know, $20 on those pins that you see, and you can support someone you know. All the pins come with a protective film on top of it, so just, you know, rip that off, put it right on, and get it started, or you keep it on a protective pin much longer. You can also follow us on the Instagram, and it's in the link in the bio, to where it is We Trust _podcast, and that's on Instagram, and you'll be able to see the link is the first link on that website is the In Those We Trust merch, and we have candles coming, hats, shirts, anything you guys could ask for. So please go support, and we appreciate you guys. Thank you. All right, welcome back. Yeah, dude, I think you brought up great points in those, and like how like your stances, and you know, I appreciate those like our counterparts who are raised and applaud their parents for raising them. You know, treat everyone the same way. Like, don't treat anyone differently. Like, you know, I always treat the fucking janitor like he's a CEO, and treat the CEO the same if I would anyone else. And I think that's what has gotten me far in life with like getting jobs and stuff like that. Is like, I never go into a job like, how can I kiss your ass to make it? Yeah. And that started with me in high school. And like when I was playing sports, I was like, I would never kiss a coach's ass. You'll never see me do that shit. Yeah. Like, it will never happen. And it's like, if I don't start, I don't start. But I'm not going to sit here and kiss your ass and do whatever, stuff like that. So, but I appreciate all those people who were there and who made like an effort to like stand up for us and follow through with that. And, you know, when we were talking, one of the things that popped into my head is when we, you know, I don't want to stay on this topic of race, but it's so interesting. When everything with Kaepernick happened, even we were in fucking college with that too.
Yeah. A lot happened in a short amount of time.
Right, 4 years.
Yeah, it jumped out, man. It jumped out.
So when we were in college, you know, we were talking about it, and like, you didn't have a rough stance. Like, you weren't just like, no, fuck that, he should get up. You know, this is sports. Like, your politics should be out of sports. Yeah. And your stance was like, yo, you know, I was raised a certain way. I believe in standing regardless. Yeah. And you know, it was the first time where I was like, yo, I can respect that. Like, I can respect your point that you're making on this situation. Like,
well, that was like, my first thought too. When it was happening, like, I'll be honest, I was like, you know, dude, come on. Yeah. Like, you got to stand up. Like, this is just like, what it is. Is it a respect thing? And then I think you started to see, like, he would get some support from military veterans and what it is. And I disagree so heavily with when these people in the media, like, say stick to sports.
Yeah.
Just play the game and leave. Like, that's such a dumb ass way of thinking. Like, these are the biggest moguls in the world, man. Yeah. Like, everybody knows who LeBron James is. Everybody knows who Tom Brady is. And now everybody knows who Colin Kaepernick is. So why not use your platform to bring light on a topic that needed to be brought upon?
And little kids will see. These little kids adore these players.
And it wasn't like, I don't know, could he maybe have gone about it another way?
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah.
But would it have gotten as big as it did?
Nope.
Probably not. Yeah. So I think, wasn't that the point? Like, he wanted to do something. I don't think he was going in there and being like, fuck our military. That's not what he wanted to say. I'm going to bring light on something here.
Yeah.
And for better or for worse, he did.
Yeah. I'll say what I really have to say for Cody. So I'm calling Cody out. I'll say it for you, Cody, when you come on and your stance on it. But no, you're 100% right, dude. Like, it was the transition of what it was meant for, and they took it to another light of like, oh, he's disrespecting the military, he's doing this, and the third, and it's weird. Like, when I look back and I was just like, yo, I stand with him. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I feel him. Like, because when I think about fighting for this country, you already know my stance is hell nah. But like, I agree with him. It's so crazy. Like, someone has to do that first in order for shit to change. Because now, someone takes a knee. Is it news? No.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
we don't even know who's still taking knees anymore.
No, they don't even talk about it.
Like, you know what I mean? It's just apparent now. Like, when full teams will take it, and starting in high school, like, teams will just take a knee. Yeah. And it's not news anymore. It's just like, we understand why. Like, it is what it is. And like, it's not your political stance. It's like, yo, this is going to bring awareness. Like, yo, shit has to change. And like, this shit even happened with the fucking bubble. Shit's still going on when the bubble's going on. Like, people were like, games are getting canceled with George Floyd and all this going on. And like, it really meant a lot when I do see, like, I wanted you to have a different opinion. People should have different opinions.
Yeah. Well, like I said, like, I don't think I'll ever fully agree with him not standing for the anthem.
Yeah.
I don't agree with that.
Yeah.
But I agree with him doing something major to bring to light on a topic that was important to him. And again, like you just said, like in the football locker room, man, like all those guys go through it.
Yeah.
And again, if you're a white guy in the NFL or like playing football, you have to try to turn a blind eye to not see it because you're a brother of those guys. You know what I mean? Like, it just doesn't make any sense if you're like, oh, I'm not doing this. So again, did I agree with the kneeling? Maybe not.
Yeah.
But I understand why he did what he did. I didn't, though, when I don't know if it was last year or 2 years ago when he tried to come back in the league. Remember, like, he was going to have the big workout. Every team was going to go.
Yeah.
And like, he changed up last second. Like,
really?
That part, I think when people say he should be in the league, talent-wise, I don't think he wants to.
Yeah.
So like, that is what it is.
He did have the workout, like,
he did, but
like a year or so ago. Yeah. Okay.
But like, he changed locations where like only 5 teams showed up, and they were like, okay, well, we're not even gonna sign him. I don't know whatever happened with that, but I think everything was set up. So that I kind of didn't understand.
Okay.
I don't know if again he just did that. I don't really remember if he did that for any Black Lives Matter thing.
Okay.
That I was kind of like, okay, does this guy just want attention now?
Attention.
You know what I mean? So maybe not, maybe.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, he did. Yeah. I don't fully either. But from what I understand, like, I was just like, I hope he now just isn't trying to like want attention to get his name back in the world.
No, I feel that. I mean, he got a fucking lump sum of cash, that's for sure, from the NFL. Like, anytime they say they don't disclose the amount, that's how you know it's some money. that's for fuck sure. But stay on the NFL. Like, we just saw. Damn, dude, I'm forgetting his name. Who just came out as gay?
Oh,
dude, now I have to look it up.
Don't even tell me. The kid from the Raiders, right?
Yeah, the Raiders guy. Because if I don't, I feel mad disrespectful to my guy.
It's like on the tip of my tongue. Number 94.
And I was like, I was talking to Tone about this. I was like, Carl Nassib.
Yeah, Nassib.
Carl Nassib.
Yeah.
And I was like, dude, how do I remember this guy? Like, I was like, he's not just someone that just like looks familiar. I was like, well, he looks familiar, but he was on Hard Knocks. He was one of the he was with the Browns on Hard Knocks. Yeah. Remember, he was the one that was giving the speech about money, how your money will compound over a certain amount of years.
Right.
Yeah, making fun of him. It was him. But me and Kat, I was like, yo, I saved it all day. Like, I didn't watch the video. I was like, yo, Kat, this dude came out like, it's gay. Like, let's watch it. It was like a short clip, right? And like, it was hilarious. It's not that he came out gay, but like, he was just like, Carl Nassib here. I'm gay. And it was just like, he got right to the fucking point. And I was like, oh shit. Like, he went right for the jugular. But I was like, yo, that's mad respectable because, the headlines could have took it as like, oh, guy looking for attention, because they did that with Michael Sam.
Yeah,
when Michael Sam came out, it was like he's looking for attention. He's not that good of a fucking player.
Because it was right before I think the draft, wasn't it? When he came out, so it was like, all right, here's this.
And then they were like, oh, this is a big black guy that's gay, and then he's like a white boyfriend. So it was like all this. It was the biggest news ever. Yeah. And then everyone now is like, he came out gay. He's like, if you know me, like I'm not looking for attention. He's like, I'm gonna donate like 100,000 to like
dope.
So dope, right? The way
God,
he did it, I've never seen anyone do it like so genuine. Like he was just like, yo, man, it's going to get to a certain point where like we don't have to do this, and like it's just going to become like, why would I ever come out and just be like I'm gay? Like, it's gonna be, you don't
say I'm straight. Yeah, I'm getting married.
Exactly. So it's like it was so dope to see that in the NFL. And like his jersey sales are like number one right now.
Number one, yeah.
It's crazy, but like that to me was like a huge stance, and like he's nice. He's actually nice.
Yeah.
Michael Sam was fucking ass. He didn't even make the team.
He went to Dallas, didn't he?
No, he was on the Rams. He tried out. He got drafted.
I think you guys drafted him.
No, the Rams drafted him. No, the Rams drafted him, and then he tried out and he didn't make the team.
Oh yeah.
Which
is surprising because you guys
get the fuck out of it. We can hit on sports now. Do you want me? Let's the real reason why Liam's here. This is the sports guy. This is the guy of all guys when it comes to sports and no more than me. And I was just talking to Tony, my girl, about this. I was like, yo, this is the first time I'm outside of college for the first time. I can just work. I cannot wait to watch like sports just all day fucking long. I was like, yo, I'm buying all the NFL fucking pack. I'm just buying all the packages to watch sports because I've been so focused in college and then grad school that I don't have the time to even fucking do it. But let's pick up one of the first questions I have. What's going on with Philly, bro? Like, what is your stance? You know, I don't watch basketball, but I keep up. Like I keep up enough. What is good with the Sixers? Where do you see the team going from here on out? I feel like every year, like they made it to the first round, then they made it to like the second round of Game 7. So like they're moving up, but slowly but surely.
That's the problem. They're not moving up.
Okay.
They're staying stagnant. I think you've known me for how long and how passionate I am about Philly sports. This was the most disappointing team in all of Philly sports I've ever watched. I've never felt more depressed. I swear. I promise you. As pissed that the Eagles get me, never was more like depressed and just like stunned watching what I watched. Everything, bro.
You're talking about the playoffs?
The playoffs, yeah. You don't lose against the Hawks. That series doesn't go to 7.
Trey Young smoked our dumbasses.
Bro, you blew 18-point lead, 26-point lead. I heard that one, 3 home losses. Listen.
So where do you see the Sixers going then?
I don't know. I really don't.
Does Ben Simmons stay?
I think he does.
Yeah.
I think because
does he have a contract to stay long, or this is a contract year?
No, he's contracted. So the thing is, like, I've been a big Ben supporter.
Okay.
I hated the bullshit argument, like, oh, he doesn't shoot.
Yeah.
Well, the kid's still putting up 15 points a game. He's having like a triple double. I'm like, let him do his game.
But isn't he point guard?
Yeah, but
he should be giving you 20.
Argument. He could be giving you 20 without shooting, but now the problem is he's afraid to shoot, bro. Yeah. I don't know if you watched. There was a Game 7. Game was tied at like 84.
Yeah.
This dude had I don't know, a 6'2" guard on him.
Yeah.
Backed him down. Did a spin move, wide open underneath the rack, passed it. Bro, I've never seen on any level, elementary, gym class, college ball, NBA. Class. I've never seen anybody pass up an open shot, let alone a layup. When you're 6'10", bro, you can stand on your tippy toes and put it in there.
Yeah.
Bro, he's afraid, so...
You think I saw his high school coach was like, it's a mental thing.
It is a mental thing.
It's not physical.
He's just afraid. No, he's the most athletic dude on the court whenever he steps out there.
Okay.
But he doesn't have like a dog in him, man. He doesn't have any fight.
That's what someone was saying. I didn't know he's from Australia.
Yeah, well, his dad played ball out in Australia. He's a ball player.
I didn't know that. He's not going to the Olympics. He says he's not doing the Olympics. But when like that dog fighting him, I don't think he has it either, because I was watching something else and they were talking about it. They were like, do you think he even gives a fuck like of playing sports anymore? Like, I feel like he just is like
he cares about his Instagram likes. That's about it. I really like, he.
So you think he has the Kardashian curse?
Devin Booker's doing pretty damn well, so I don't know.
Yeah, right.
But nah, man, I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't trade Ben Simmons for the sake of trading him.
Just to get him out. Yo, this is the time I'm seeing Philly fans, because Tone's one of those fucking guys. 2 weeks ago, he was fucking praising Ben Simmons. A couple weeks ago, he like before the playoff, he was fucking praising him. And then all of a sudden, it's like that Philly hate. Like they're turning back so fucking quick on a player, and that's all he's getting right now.
I mean, Game 7, I shared my fair share of curse words to him at the TV. Don't get me wrong, but it's so frustrating.
Yeah.
Because he can be, I think, the best dude on the court.
Yeah.
He can be.
Okay.
He doesn't want to be.
Yeah.
He clearly doesn't want to be.
That's what I'm saying. I feel like he just wants to be like a 6 man. He doesn't want to be the star.
He's fine with doing that. And he said it before. And like he's a 3-time All-Star, so I think the way he looks at it, like I'm making an All-Star team, I'm an all-defensive player, like that's what I put my pride in. I don't need to shoot, like I'll get 12 assists a game, like have my team do the rest.
Get the fuck.
Coaching was horrible. Doc Rivers was horrible. I would have fired him.
Really?
I'm
so
done.
You're against Doc Rivers.
Yeah, bro.
So he can't win the big game.
He can't finish. He can't close now. It was with the Celtics, it was with the Clippers, and now it's with us. He can't close out a game. In the round 2, you say you don't like watch basketball, but when it gets to round 2, your rotation should be 6 guys, 7 guys. Yeah. You put your guy. Like, what else are you waiting for? There's no more rest anymore. Yeah. There's no more rest in the play. Like, go out there and do it. Bro, we're playing 10, 11 guys. Guys that should only get in the game at like February against Memphis. Yeah. When nobody's watching on a Tuesday night. Yeah. Not in Game 7 at home. Are you playing these guys like for 5 minutes in the third quarter when the game's tied? You know what I mean? Yeah. So like he was horrible. I love Joe.
Oh yeah,
I love
Joe.
My guy.
He's a fucking dog.
And
yeah,
he
he's
matured.
A fucking dog.
This year he matured. Okay. I think.
Yeah.
I think you saw him.
It took a fucking Shaq and everybody on his fucking ass for him to be like. And I think he didn't understand it because these players nowadays they cry like they're just like he's talking bad about me. I'm like, bro, prove them wrong. Like you should, prove them wrong. So I think he took that a little bit. Was like, all right, he's not talking like down to me. He's talking at me. He wants to see me fucking do great, and that's all. I respect him beat a lot. Yeah, I respect him.
Love him. I would love to see Damian Lillard in a Sixers uniform, but that's the only way I would give up Ben Simmons.
Ben Simmons? That's what I saw.
It would have to be.
Is there talks about that? Because I've seen people posting that.
I think he wants out of Portland. Okay. I think the Sixers can give up a good package. I would give up. Yeah, I would say, baller, other than Embiid, here's a list of our roster. You pick out what you want. And the key to the city if you want. Anything. These guys, because the rest of the guys, man, Ben Simmons going to be your core piece. Yeah. You can get the rest of them. Yeah. There's players that grow on trees,
him and Embiid, hopefully they have a good connection. But Dame is a dog, bro.
Yeah.
My favorite player, like right now though, like he's been probably for a couple of years is Westbrook. Westbrook is if I were to play basketball, I think that's how I would play. Like if I had like that fight, like the way my sports like would translate to basketball is that way.
Javon and I have gone back and forth ever since high school about Westbrook. I've never. Why? I love watching him play. Okay. He's fun as hell to watch. If he got traded to the Sixers, I'd be pissed. Why? I would never want him on my team. He's not a winner. He's selfish, I think, on the court.
He is. You're 100% right.
Again, I just think, bro, like he wants to be the guy everywhere he goes. And he does have dog in him. Yeah. I don't think his basketball IQ is anywhere close to where it needs to be.
I just see him being like a ×2 Damian Lillard. Like that's what I see him as. I just see him. Maybe not. I don't think his shot is so nasty. I don't think he has a better shot. Yeah, I don't think he has a better shot. But when if I need someone to take over a game, fuck, I don't know.
Definitely not Russ.
Yeah,
hell no. Hell no.
If I need someone
He's just not as smart. Yeah. Turns it over all the time, bro. Like
I just like the dog in him.
I think there's a reason KD left.
Yeah,
and I've never blamed KD for going to the Warriors.
Okay, good. I was never against that. I like. When people talk about the super teams, I was like, I think you need a super team to win nowadays.
Super teams were created,
with Jordan
so long ago.
And people like to say like Jordan won it before all this stuff. I'm like, he had a fucking super
team.
Jordan
didn't
bro.
win with Pimpin. Anything. Yeah. He didn't win anything without Pimpin.
He had a fucking team, bro. He had a dog in him. He had more dogs with him. So and I just watched. I love watching I always go back and just watch The Last Chance, dude. I just go back.
Last Chance You?
Yeah. No, not Last Chance You. I'm sorry. Last Dance.
Last Dance. Yeah.
When I go back and like just watch that, like I think nothing compares. Like there's no documentary out there. Hard Knocks is pretty good. Like when you get like when it's good seasons. But there's no documentary that comes close to that.
No.
Nothing will touch that. And like there's so many episodes. Like that came out the perfect time of COVID. At the pandemic. That came out
sports
perfect, bro. That was like the perfect thing to do. So like, and that's what got me into watching all these podcasts because they were talking about it. Like it's just perfect. And like, you asked me before that who's better, LeBron or MJ, and I would go LeBron all day. Yeah. You asked me now, I'm saying MJ, like because of that, and because of watching that, and I just didn't know, like it's generations. Like how would I know that? Like I didn't watch him play.
We never saw him play. The stories, bro, like that team was just so interesting because like Rodman was his own personality.
Rodman's a fucking crazy. I love that story so much. He's like, I just need to get away.
He just left
and just go on vacation.
Just leaves.
Jordan's like, you don't let him go. He's not coming back. Like he won't come back. Yeah. And the fact that Jordan had to go to fucking Vegas and go get him. Just imagine seeing that. Just that sight.
Imagine that today with social media. If one of these guys just left,
there's no way that he that player gets away with that.
No.
There's no way, bro. There's no shot in hell because that would be how is he in the club right now and not at the game and all this stuff?
Yeah,
it would have went off.
Game.
It would have went off.
Bro, it was a very interesting watch.
Yeah.
It's just so like his Michael Jordan's like attitude. The one scene was like, I don't know, somebody didn't say hi to him in a restaurant like the day before Game 7 or Game 6. He's like, all right, fuck you, dude. Yeah. I'm ripping your heart out.
But he made everything up. Like that's the thing. Like you have to be sick. Crazy. Yeah, you have to be.
It's sickening.
I mean, people do that. Like, you know, like when we were playing, like we in football at a minor scale, when we play like Brown in the City, we know we're playing them on Thanksgiving. So people be talking shit back and forth on Twitter. It's like you're creating a story now to where like I have to go out and fuck you up now.
Well, no, like, I love the mentality.
Yeah, like that mentality is amazing. But he would do it where he's just like. I forget the story, but he like made up shit. Like he would just make it up. And then they were like, did this ever happen? He's like, no, I never fucking did that. He's like, he's fucking Jordan. Like after a game, he was like, he said something to me after a game. He was like, yo, good job.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'm taking this. He's like, that never, he's like, and after he's like, yeah, that never happened.
Yeah.
I just made that mentality up. But the sickness to have that, bro, is just fucking hilarious.
It's awesome, bro. It's awesome.
If you haven't, though, go watch Last Chance U as well.
I was because
Last Chance U is like, every time it comes out, we always see each other. And like, to me, that sums up like, what I want to do in life. Like I don't want to coach football. I want to coach football at like the high school level. But like that's what I want to do of like helping those kids. Because those are the kids that, like, it just reminds me of growing up playing fucking sports with all the Beverly kids, fucking sometimes Riverton kids would come out, but like Beverly and Palmyra kids, like this is what it was.
Yeah.
It was always you had these star athletes that act like fucking dickheads and don't want to play, but they have the best talent and can outwork anyone but won't put the work in, and then you see where they end up.
Well, did you watch the latest season, like the basketball one?
Yeah, the basketball one.
I just got through episode 3. I know I'm late on it, but that's the one case, and I don't know how he turns out. I hope he does. But the kid, the power forward, Joe, probably the most talented kid on the team. Yeah. But this dude is leaving games, like and that's
just
tough.
Walking into the locker room, like in the middle of a game, like fuck this, I'm done. And like that's what I'm just like, yo, that's it. Like that's what it is for so many kids. Like they don't get that. The understanding, like, yo, keep calm. Like, you can just put the fucking work in, bro. That's all it is. If you would have gave me some of the kids' talents that I had in Palmyra, and you gave that shit to me, dude, I don't know where I would be right now.
Yeah, I know.
Like, you know what I mean? But I worked harder than anyone else there, and it was just the way it was. Well, check that out as well. Staying on Philly, who is your top 5 Philly athletes of all time?
Wow.
Top 5 Philly athletes.
My personal ones?
So Phillies, Flyers,
yeah.
Eagles, all of them.
My personal favorites?
Your favorites.
I think the first AI.
Okay. All right. If you didn't have that on your list, you were getting canceled for sure.
He's first.
Okay.
Dawkins 2.
Okay. I'll definitely give you that.
Yeah. Rollins 3. I'm a baseball player. I was 11 for that reason.
You take Rollins over.
That was my boy, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's my
over
boy's
who?
name?
Utley.
Either Utley or a Cole
Hamels.
Yeah.
Listen, Chase Utley played the game the right way, but there's something about Rollins, man. He had everything.
I remember I was at a baseball camp and he was there and we were pitching. Yeah. And he came over to me, like he was just watching me pitch the whole time.
Really?
It was so weird. Yeah. He's fucking little, bro.
He is.
Fucking little.
He's like 5'8".
Yeah. In middle school, I was like, yo, you're like damn near the same size, but he's fucking built. But it was pretty dope. Okay, so you have AI, Rollins.
Yeah, AI, Dawkins, Rollins.
Okay. So you're at 3.
I don't know. Maybe Embiid makes it. Maybe it's too
now?
early.
It's too early, bro. It's too fucking early. Over Flyers, all those Flyers.
I'm not a huge hockey guy.
Okay.
I mean, I'll watch it if they're in. Okay. Yeah, like I like going to the games, but I'm not a huge Flyers fan, so I probably won't have anybody on them on my top 5.
Are you missing You're missing a Sixer.
I am.
Yeah, you put Embiid over
Well, like that I've watched.
Okay.
Like I could say like Dr. J.
Yeah,
and like Randall Cunningham, but like I've never watched them. Yeah, they're badass.
Okay. So yeah,
my top 5 personally that I've watched.
Growing up. Yeah, you watched. Okay.
That's why I said Embiid might be in there.
Okay. So you have 4. You have AI, Dawkins, Rollins.
Deshaun Jackson was kind of my boy.
Yeah, middle school he's different story. I would definitely say you definitely had to watch him at all times.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. You don't throw McNabb in there? Were you a McNabb hater?
No, I was a McNabb fan.
I
was a McNabb defender.
Okay.
But probably not.
I fucking hated McNabb's big ass head. Fucking hated that kid.
Maybe Carson Wentz.
Nah, there's no way. There's no way you could throw him in there. Yo, I can't wait for him to fucking smoke this year, bro. I'm really looking. I want the best for that guy so much, bro. That dude deserves it all, bro.
Yeah,
he deserves it all. He'll definitely love it in Indianapolis. I feel like that.
I think Philly was Philly was tough.
It's definitely a family place for him too. Like I feel like working with the Colts and that organization, like he'll definitely love it there. Yeah. All right, so let's talk about this upcoming year with your Birds versus my America's team.
Yeah.
So I think Eagles are the dumbest fucking people in the world it comes to you want to make what's his name earn his starting role.
Jalen Hurts.
You want to make him earn his starting role. Dumbest thing I've ever fucking heard in the world. And this is a new coach coming in, right?
Yep. Idiot.
Well, like, he's already starting on a bad foot for me. That's that bullshit. And to me, that honestly, I'm going to sound like my fucking dad. They would never do that to a fucking white football player. Because there's no fucking way, bro. You do this to a guy that led the team last year, that helped the team so much, and came in and was dealt a bad hand. He had to compete. And I get it. Competing. You compete in camp. But at the start of camp, there's no problem making him a starter and still making him compete.
Well, the thing is, like, the reason that's so stupid is because our backup quarterback is a 40-year-old Joe Flacco. You're telling me he has any shot in hell of starting week 1?
I bet you he will.
Shit, man. I don't know. Listen, I love Jalen Hurts. He's the guy that has the mentality.
Yeah.
I don't think he's starting quarterback next year for the Eagles.
Who?
Jalen Hurts.
So you think next year he won't? This upcoming year?
No, this year he will be.
So you say say he'll fuck it off?
I think he'll be all right, but I think he's not a franchise quarterback. He's average. He's better than, 10 to 13 guys, but I don't think he's a guy that can take you over the top.
What? Would you say that about Wentz?
I think Wentz is that still. I think he was a little mentally weak at times. I think Jalen is.
So, okay. A man that played at North Dakota State, or wherever the fuck it is, you'll say he's your franchise player over someone that dominated college football for the entire time he was there.
Yeah, but
not only at Alabama, but took Oklahoma to something different than it is.
Listen, the reason he went to Oklahoma is because he wasn't even the best quarterback on his team.
100% was. He still was. He just had to fucking sit there and compete, and Nick Saban had no idea what the fuck to do with that much talent. So it went downhill, and look what he did. He went somewhere else. Let's bring this shit back.
Listen, I hope that he does rip it. I think he'll be.
He's gonna rip.
I think he'll be good.
The Cowboys. We just gave you a fucking
special,
gift.
Though.
We gave you a gift.
He's
You're
not
dumb.
Special.
I would bet you $20 that you're gonna. I'm gonna use this clip of you saying this shit against you.
I hope so.
Because he's gonna show you guys something different.
I hope
he's gonna torch them. Two are gonna torch the league.
Who?
Him and what's the
Devontae Smith?
Are gonna torch the fuck. We gave you guys a gift. We said, here you go, guys. Yeah. Here's the torch the whole NFC East.
Fuck the Giants over too.
Yeah. Well, I would rather. It's so bad. People ask me, they're like, who do you like more? Like, who do you hate more, the Eagles? And I was like, no, I actually don't mind the fucking Eagles. I hate the Giants more than anything.
Yeah, I hear that a lot from Cowboys fans.
I hate the fucking Giants because it's the Giants and the Bills for me. I fucking hate those
Bills.
Two. Yeah, I fucking hate them. I hate that fucking quarterback. And it's because they came to Dallas and they talked mad shit. And Dallas just looked like pussies the whole fucking time. And they let them fucking come down and just talk mad shit on the sidelines. Like, be like, it was just the worst shit I've ever. Like, that to me was the worst game I've ever seen as a Cowboys fan. I was just like, this is ridiculous. So when I look at it, I was like, yo, I hate the Giants because they have Super Bowl wins.
Yeah.
But off like each of their Super Bowl wins have been off of luck. Like, somehow they get lucky and they keep making it and they won.
Yeah.
To me, Eli Manning is not that good. He doesn't deserve those rings to me if it's not luck.
I agree.
And that shit pisses me. The fact that Giants fans have that right now.
Yeah.
And I was like, you guys will never win. Until we die, you'll never win another Super Bowl, in my belief. I think the Eagles and Cowboys will, but I hate the fucking Giants so much.
I don't think... I know I hate the Cowboys. You guys aren't doing anything as long as
as
long as that man's running the team, you're not going to do anything.
Don't worry, man. Oh, yeah, 100%. Until that guy passes away.
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter. It's staying in the fucking family. His fucking kids are taking off. So it doesn't even matter, bro. But I definitely see my boy Prescott coming back, and I think he's going to be slower. He's definitely going to be I think he's going to become more of a pocket passer, and that will open the offense a lot more.
Yeah.
I think we just have too much weapons to be this shitty. Like, we have too many weapons to be so shitty.
You don't have anything on defense, and your O-line's kind of...
Our defense is awful. That's what I was saying. Like, when we gave you guys that fucking gift, I was like, do they not understand we have no defense?
Oh, yeah.
Like, we have no defense. Like, what are we going to do all year? We have no idea what to do.
Well, were you happy with Micah Parsons?
A little bit. Like, yeah, like, he's a fucking dog. Like, he's definitely going to turn up that defense.
Yeah.
He's a dog. But, and it was just, like, meant to be. Like, he's been a fucking Cowboys fan his whole life. He was saying, I hope I get drafted, but I can't. Like, you know, he can't wait. But it's just, we have some dogs. Like, we have young guys. But, like, we got to get some more weapons. Like, that defense has to change. If that defense turns up, if our defense wasn't so shitty, I don't think Dak Prescott gets hurt. It's hard to even put that out there. Like, it's freak injuries. But he had to ball out so much.
Yeah.
If fucking Zeke wasn't sitting on beaches drinking mimosas, he'd still be he would be 100% if Zeke said, like, it's just all these counterparts that what ifs. But I think that this is going to be a definitely interesting year of, like,
I think Washington takes the division again.
I say the same thing. I say
their defense is
the defense is ridiculous, and they were still developing. They didn't develop to the end of the year.
Yeah, they don't even have a quarterback. I guess Fitzpatrick, but they're a good quarterback away from being legit.
Yeah, he's not like a Fitzpatrick to win you games. Yeah. But again, he does that luck shit. Like, he throws shit the fuck up. Like, you know what I mean? But he has the core for it. He has the wide receiver. Yeah, so he definitely probably a good locker room quarterbacking guy, stuff like that.
I don't know. Eagles wise, I can see like 6-7 wins.
I haven't even looked at the schedule. I'm trying to go to a game.
They have a tough start.
Yeah.
But again, it's like I don't know what the coach is. I don't know what Jalen Hurts is for a full year starter yet. I don't know what the defense is.
That's true. Yeah.
Our O-line is coming off of like 3 guys tearing something.
Well, your whole offensive line was like done. Yeah.
So the only guy that didn't move. Say like, oh, they're back.
Yeah, the only guy that didn't move was your center, right?
And he was
the only one.
He didn't know where he was half the time.
Yeah, he was the only one He was the only one that stuck it through. Yeah, I can't wait. I think we definitely have to go to a game. Like, if they allow. Did they even open up?
Yeah, they're back.
The tickets and everything is out.
I don't know if you can buy yet. Yeah, but it'll be 100%.
Yeah. Okay.
Everything's back.
Definitely.
Like Phillies games are back.
I need to go see a fucking. I've never seen an NFL game. I've seen Eagles practice, but never seen a NFL game.
You can't wear Dallas when you go.
I'm so scared to do it, but I'm fucking doing it. You crazy, bro?
Don't wear like a jersey. Wear like a hat.
I'm going
a t-shirt.
I'm going triple apparel hat, fucking shirt. I'm gonna wear a long sleeve shit with a Cowboys going around my fucking neck. I might even wear fucking boots, fucking cowboy boots in that bitch.
Well, you better be rooting for the Eagles then.
Nah, bro, we're definitely have to point out.
If they lose,
it's gonna be a rough walk to the car.
Yeah.
Nah, it's all good.
I think most honestly, Philly fans get a bad rep from what I've seen. Yeah. It's like 10% of assholes that are like, really give you problems, but you'll get chirped all game.
I don't care. Bro, good. I grew up in Philly, walking around with Yankees and fucking Cowboy shit on. That shit doesn't bother me. I welcome it. That's how it should be. Like,
it's
like
fun.
It should be.
That's what sports
are. If I can go back and forth with you, fine. But then you might have those incidents like the fucking guy at the Hawks game.
Oh my god, I know.
This guy, like, he was just like, poor bro. Like, that shit was hilarious. Yo, is there anything you want to touch on that I didn't touch on?
Nah, bro.
Nah.
I think we pretty much everything.
It was a dope ass conversation, bro. I always appreciate your openness. Like, we always just sit down and have these fucking long ass discussions just about life and
I appreciate talking to you, bro. I always take your input and like
always.
Smart as hell. Like I appreciate you sharing what you share with me.
Hey man, this is the platform to come on. If anyone else would love to be a guest, come on, bro. Come on to support the Trust. If you haven't already, go out and get your merch, bro. Go get those pins. Go get those stickers. They're selling, and I appreciate everyone that has supported so far. And go check out past episodes and keep supporting the Trust. And yo, bro, I really genuinely appreciate coming on, and I can't wait to put this out for everyone out there.
Definitely.
And keep supporting and keep the Trust alive.
Always will.
Thanks guys. Trust alive.